Hello and welcome everyone. In this lecture, I am going to talk about deploying applications on Kubernetes. So pods are the basic deployable units. Now deploying applications in Kubernetes starts with pods, which is the basic deployable units that can contain one or more containers. To ensure high availability, we use the replica sets and deployments, ensuring availability and managing updates. So, and services are exposing applications. So, I will go through deploying step by step on my Visual Studio code editor. Okay, so before that, I would like to share how to create a pods YAML file and write deployment.yaml. So these are two different files, and applying the deployment and writing service YAML and applying the service. So these are the learning outcomes that we will cover in this lecture. So basically the code snippet looks like this: API version 1, kind is pod, metadata name nginx pod, specification with containers, name nginx, image nginx, latest, and ports container port 80. So this is the pod.yaml file that I will be implementing on Visual Studio Code. So when working with Kubernetes, you typically store your configuration files such as pod.yaml in a directory on your local machine, where you can easily manage and access them. Now here is a step-by-step guide. Now you can see here that it is running in Ubuntu directly, WSL2, and with an WSL extension. So there is no need to work with a Windows Ubuntu terminal, but I can straight away work on my Visual Studio Code. And you can see that PWD means present working directory, points to home, KRC home. But this is not a Windows directory, but it's a Unix directory. Okay. Now first I will make a directory, and within this home directory, Kubernetes, and within Kubernetes pods. So I'll give it a make directory command. Okay, so my present working directory will be still KRC home KRC home, but I have been able to create the directory structure Kubernetes and pods. Okay, so this P flag means that if there is Kubernetes and pods within the Kubernetes directory are not available, they are created. Okay, and now I will actually write the let us change the directory to so I have changed the directory so that we are in Kubernetes and pods directory, and what I can do is I can list. So there is nothing, pods directory empty, where we are going to write the pod.yaml. Okay. So once I have created this Kubernetes and pods directory within Kubernetes, you can see the Kubernetes /pods appear over here. So let me create the YAML file, pods.yaml or pod.yaml. Okay, so here create the new file. Pod.yaml, where I will stick the code. So just to expedite the thing, there is no need for typing everything. So I just copied and pasted from my clipboard. So this is the code we just discussed. And now, in order to apply the pod configuration, I will straight away jump over here and I will apply the pod. I will give this command kubectl and apply command that will apply the pod to this file, pod.yaml. Enter. So kubectl apply, it error failed to download opening. So that is another problem. We'll just look into it. Now I restarted my Kubernetes desktop and I could successfully apply the command kubectl apply file pod.yaml. So pod nginx pod created. So the next command is kubectl get pods. Okay, so kubectl get pods. So you can see that this nginx pod that was created is running. Now we'll create a deployment file. So on this our Kubernetes /pods where we are at the moment. Okay, I will create another file and name it deployment. It's a YAML file for deployment and the code is send. Save the changes. Alright, so I'll apply this deployment. So similarly, the steps, the command on the Visual Studio Code integrated terminal is practically the same. kubectl apply to this file, F for file, and this is deployment.yaml. So deployment is created. The deployment name is nginx deployment is created. So now I'll issue the same similar command to what we gave here, kubectl get pods. So we get kubectl get deployments. And we should be able to get the nginx deployment ready. 3 out of 3, up to date 3, available 3, age 37 seconds. Alright, and let us see, another command is kubectl get replica sets. So this is the replica set. So let's get back to the slide. So I have deployed a pod and applied the pod configuration with kubectl apply f pod.yaml and verified the pod status, creating the deployment by sticking this code deployment.yaml and applied deployment configuration and verify deployment status. And then I will write a service.yaml. So service.yaml kind is service, metadata name nginx service, spec selector, app is nginx, protocol TCP protocol, port is 80, target port is 80, type is node port. So back to our Visual Studio Code. Here I will create service.yaml file. Under Kubernetes and pods directory. And here is the code. Save this code and apply our service.yaml. kubectl apply f service.yaml. The path service.yaml does not exist. So its path has moved out of the pods directory. So I have actually corrected the issue. So I will put it. Now you can see service.yaml is there, and then I will issue the command once again. So service nginx service is created. And now I can give this command kubectl get services. Now these are my services, Kubernetes and Nginx service. Type is there, cluster IP and external IP none, ports there, age. Okay. So basically that marks the end of this deployment, lesson on deployment.